Here's the story from NBC News. It's a weird one. Judge in Trump's hush money case raises questions about social media post claiming to preview jury verdict. Judge Juan Merchan asked prosecutors and Trump's defense team about a Facebook post that appeared to preview. To preview? You mean predict? NBC News? What are you doing? Today, the court... actually, let me just see if I can pull up the letter itself. This is from Brianna Morello. She has the actual letter. So it says, Dear Counsel, today the court became aware of a comment that was posted on the Unified Court System's public Facebook page, and which I now bring to your attention. In the comment, the user, Michael Anderson, states, my cousin is a juror and says Trump is getting convicted. Thank you, folks, for all your hard work. The comment, now labeled as 1 week old, responded to routine UCS notice posted May 29th regarding oral arguments in the 4th Department of the Appellate Division unrelated to this proceeding. The posting entitled The Appellate Division 4th Department will hear oral arguments this morning at 10, and the comment are both viewable, and then here's the link. And this is signed by Judge Juan Merchan. It's weird that we're getting this. Now, Mario Nawfal has a great post. He says, Judge Merchan edited the Facebook post copy, which is weird. He did. Here's the actual post. Michael Anderson said, thank you for all your hard against. This is an intentional error. I'm saying I'm reading verbatim. Thank you for all your hard against the MAGA crazies. My cousin is a juror on Trump's criminal case, and they're going to convict him tomorrow, according to her. Thank you, New York courts. Then responded, now we are married. One person, that lopsided free speech, then said, well, you just implicated your cousin in a crime if what you say is true. It is against the law for a juror to discuss the case before it is ended. Thank you for shedding light on your cousin's actions. I don't know if this post is real. Some random person we don't know posted some stupid Facebook post. Why is the judge highlighting this and sending the letter to both parties? It only would benefit Trump. If this is a legitimate legal proceeding, then Trump's lawyers can now argue for a mistrial, I guess. I see this, I crumple it up, I'd throw it in the garbage. I'd say people post stupid things on the internet all the time. What do I care? Some are suggesting, because the judge knows who the jurors are, that the judge has been able to verify that this person is in fact in some way related to one of the jurors, and thus there's legitimate grounds for a mistrial. I don't know that's true, but the question then is, why did the judge send this letter?
There's something really funny about all of this being disrupted by someone's like semi-boomery relative on Facebook making a comment. I think he has to alert the jury of it to keep the idea that this is a legitimate and trustworthy court up. You know, the internet sleuths are never going to let it go. It's already dated a week old. So if Merchan doesn't get out in front of it, it's going to look like they are actively suppressing something that could affect the trial. But again, like, watch out for your relatives on Facebook, man. They could bring down everything.
I'm no lawyer or legal expert, but I do think it's significant that the judge was bringing this up and thought to mention it at all. I'm hoping it's an elaborate troll, though, because that would be the funniest.
Elaborate?
I mean, elaborate enough to get on the news and have to.
But not even.
Or are there multiple comments? Because even the emojis in the comment from, or in the copy that Merchan sent out in the letter look different than the ones that are used in the screenshot we have. Like, is this like one guy's relative who's like commenting on all of these things?
According to an article by Fox 5, it says the profile for Michael Anderson has little publicly available information, but the user identifies himself as a trans-abled and professional S-poster.
Yeah, so there you go.
Right. So why is the judge entertaining this?
Which makes it weird, though, because typically they would investigate this stuff anyways before it would ever make it out to the news. Like, they would have already investigated this and looked into it. This is weird. I don't know what it means.
So what NBC News is saying, when a defendant who has been convicted by a jury but has not yet been sentenced learns of alleged jury misconduct, he can move to set aside the verdict under New York criminal procedure law. If a defendant can prove that jury misconduct may have affected a substantial right of the defendant, the remedy is a new trial. That's bad for Trump. A new trial means that he once again will not be able to campaign and will be stuck in New York. They'd lock him down for another 6 weeks. Unless Trump's thinking like, I don't know, we get another guilty verdict we're going to make another $400 million.
I was going to say, this conviction hasn't really hurt Trump, at least so far, the way that I think they wanted it to. It's not really affecting his positions with independents. It's not discouraging people. It's obviously been a huge fundraising platform for him. I guess the biggest issue is, like, if they have to go to retrial, what happens, obviously with sentencing, being July 11th right before the RNC. That is sort of the big hang up for me right now in terms of how does this affect Trump. That seems to be where it could snare him the most. But, if you can make $1 billion off of a conviction.
Politically speaking, do you guys think it was better or worse for him to be found guilty? Like, was he hoping for the jury to find him guilty so he'd be able to advertise and kind of have a rally around the flag effect?
Not guilty is better.
Not guilty is better.
Not guilty is better because then he comes out and says they won't stop. But they got their guilty verdict because they're in a Democrat jurisdiction where the jurors are like, I ain't going to be the one to stick my neck out.
And now let me flip it a little bit. What do you think the Joe Biden administration is hoping for when it comes to this Hunter Biden case?
Probably not guilty.
Because if it comes out as not guilty, then it may look like some impropriety with the Joe Biden administration, like weighing the scale one way or another, not being able to get a fair trial in his favor in Delaware. So
I think that
because it's obvious, the Hunter Biden charges are obvious with the gun charge and the tax evasion, as I understand, are like open and shut cases. So if he's able to get away with them,
and he was prepared to plead guilty when he had a plea deal,
Exactly.
But now he's like, just kidding, I'm not guilty.
So then it would look biased in that way.
think?
So
I think that I don't really know. I mean, he's clearly a character. I don't know one way or the other if they thought it would look better for him to be acquitted, because then it just looks like it's not a fair system.
Mm-hmm.
I think that everybody looking at Hunter Biden knows what he did. And I think that they want to see him face the same kind of justice everybody else would have to face. So I think it looks better for Biden if that happens. And then he says, oh, look, the system works. There's no favoritism.
Right. Do you think that there's a certain level of cynicism with the American justice system? I mean, because you have this documentary coming out about the Whitmer case, I think there's a certain level of people saying you can't trust a jury anywhere or a judge anywhere because there's so much political bias in everything we do these days.
Yeah, I think that's merited.
Yeah.
I think there's some saying like a good prosecutor could indict a rock or something. So
Yeah.
like with all this evidence against Hunter, it would look like the scales were being tipped in one favor if he
No,
weren't
but
found.
I think that at this point, at least half the country knows that the legal system is corrupt.
Yeah. I think that
Like
it's
terribly so. I don't know that it can be fixed.
well, and I think that's sort of what Trump's campaign is capitalizing off of right now. There, people feel like they knew the system was not good. Now they feel like they have this confirmation, and actually supporting Trump, donating to him, doing whatever is the only way they can take action and sort of fight back. That's a really powerful sentiment to have at your disposal.
Yeah, definitely.
I am confused as to why the judge sent this letter over what is an obvious troll post.
See how the emojis are different?
Maybe
got,
he's
like,
trying to
the-
cover his bases. Like
Yeah.
I think that there must,
in case,
and I
but-
think there must be multiple of these. That's why we have this one here,
Yeah,
but then the other one looks
probably.
different. That's my theory, at least.
it would be good if it were a troll.
There are no prayer hands in that one. There's only the celebration emoji.
Yeah, it's the same username though. The image is different.
Well, I think
I
they could get to
can't-
the bottom of this relatively quickly. I guess actually they'd have to get a search warrant or something, but they could find the information if they were to digitally have communicated this.
Yeah, you just depose the person who wrote it.
So
Yeah, but then they got to subpoena Facebook.
I think Facebook's cooperating.
Yeah, exactly.
They're cooperating. I know in the Whitmer case, they were
Oh, they
cooperating.
volunteered
So-
in the Whitmer case.
Does this delay sentencing then? Like, does this drag out the process in between, or does he still get sentenced on July 11th?
No, I don't think that would change.
I don't think it changes things, but it does seem like they're trying to goad Trump into filing something based on this.
Very weird.
Yeah, that could also be the whole point of it.
Facebook. I'm telling you, Facebook and your relatives, dangerous.
Yeah, but this is an obvious troll post. Judge Merchan is just not. I mean, I think it's fair to say Judge Merchan is suffering from developmental disabilities. I think that's an honest assessment by anybody who can read or see with their eyes. And maybe this is just another example of him going on Facebook and going, oh, and then sending this letter being like, look. And then it's like, Judge Merchan, that is just some random guy making a joke.
Or some law clerks just quickly fumbling this together, super concerned. He doesn't even look at it, think twice, signs off on it. I wonder, could there be any legal consequences to a troll post of this
No.
magnitude?
just goofing off and posting a joke. He said the person claimed they married their cousin. He said, now we're married. It's like, okay. When I first saw this, I was like, why is everyone sharing this? Like, what is going on? And then people were saying that because the judge sent this letter, they believe that it is at least some circumstantial evidence. The judge has looked into it a little bit. Argument being, one of the jurors' names might be like Rick Anderson or like Sarah Anderson. And so then getting someone of the same name being like, hey, it's my cousin. And she said,
Yeah.
The judge is like, that's one of the.
I think the letter is to protect himself. I think the judge is sending out the letter to say, like, look, we're aware of these things going on. There's no bias. We're telling everyone all this stuff. I don't know that it necessarily says that it's actually credible. But again,
that would mean that the judge is aware of jury impropriety, and this may be indicative of it or evidence to that. So he's trying to protect himself.
Maybe, or just that, like, he knows that there could be a conclusion drawn by the public and he wants to say, like, oh, I was proactive about alerting both sides.
Yeah, they're not even supposed to have the appearance of impropriety.
Yeah. I always wonder if Mershon is going to retire from the bench. Like, what do you do after this? Do you hang out, or what do you do? Because it just seems like any conservative leaning person who's brought to his courtroom on any charge is now going to be able to be like, but we believe that there's bias
Democrats
in this courtroom.
are giving this guy a promotion.
To where? Where does he go?
Judge, who knows? Maybe he could take a spot somewhere in the administration.
Gotta call Kathy Hochul and be like,
Maybe
what's
a
your plan
Supreme
for
Court
Mershon?
justice position to reward him for what Democrats would view as his patriotism. Because this is a Democrat superhero now, this judge.
Oh, yeah.
I just think he would like retire and get a really cushy position at some university.
Some attorney general or something. Hey, you never
I don't know about AG.
Thanks for watching this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to check out the live show Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. on this channel. Subscribe and we'll see you all there.